Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fins Talk. I'm your host, Steve Molloy. I'm sure all of you know me by now. I've been doing this now going on about 4 years. So, wow, I can't believe it's been 4 years, but it's flown by. But anyway, I'm here and I welcome all of you to the show tonight. Make sure you hit that like button as you're coming into the chat. Also, if whatever platform you're at, come over here to the YouTube channel, join the family over here, and make sure if you're new to the channel that you hit that bell down there, that subscribe button, share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. And your neighbors. So thank you for joining tonight. We got some news, we got some injury updates, and then I'd like to go over a little bit about the training camp. Now, full disclosure, I haven't been to any of the practices. Haven't physically attended. So the information that I have got has been from some of the media members, the Alan Poupards, the Omar Kelly's, Mr. Smalls, uh, TD Finstock. He's made his way down there to the practices once again. So a lot of information that I got from those guys. They're doing a great job down there. Thank them for providing us with those updates and information. Cat for Life, I welcome you, brother. Thank you. Haven't seen you in a long time, man. It's been a long time. So thanks for joining the show tonight. So I'm going to start off with the news. The news is in the Dolphins organization, and this report was uh, was uh, sent down from Adam Scheffner, uh, and it's news about the Miami Dolphins organization that I think you might be interested in if you haven't already heard. Now, the first part of this, I am not sure. Yes, it is, brother. It's back. It's back, Cap. Now, the first part of this information that I'm going to read to you is I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make in the organization. The first part, but here goes. Miami Dolphins Vice Chairman, President, and Chief Executive Officer Tom Garfinkel is announcing that he is stepping away from the role as President and CEO after 13 transformational years. So he's been in that position for 13 years, done a great job in Hard Rock Stadium and bringing in, the Formula One and all that good stuff, tennis. He's brought all the events and things like that. He's done a great job in doing that. Now, I don't know how much more he's going to be involved in that moving forward, but he's stepping down from the position as president and CEO. Garfinkel will remain as vice chairman of the Miami Dolphins Hard Rock Stadium. Okay, so there's our answer. And as well as managing partner of the Miami Grand Prix. So he will be involved once more with the Miami Grand Prix and that kind of stuff. I'm assuming he's going to be involved in all the other events, the tennis and all the other things that they bring into the Hard Rock Stadium. Now, more in Miami. Dolphins chairman and owner Stephen M. Ross, also named Daniel Silman, his brother-in-law, Chief Executive Officer of Ross Sports and Entertainment, which includes Ross Full Sports portfolio. Silman has worked alongside Ross for more than a decade. Silman will also, now here's the good part, ladies and gentlemen, Silman will also oversee football operations for the Dolphins with head coach Jeff Hafley, general manager John Eric Sullivan, and executive vice president Brandon Shore. Yeah, Brandon Shore, president of football operations. They're going to report directly to Silman. So Ross is kind of stepping out, man. He's getting out of the way, and he's letting his son-in-law, Mr. Silman, take over, which is good. So Hafley, Sullivan, they're going to report directly to Silman, which is a good thing. I think that's a good thing for the organization. I believe the organization is going in the right direction. They're on track. We haven't seen this in years. I think they're doing the right thing. I really do. So I'm happy about that. Now, other news. I'm going to give you some injury updates now concerning folks that they're on they're either on the pub or they were injured in training camp, or there's some here that there's undisclosed injuries. So, and there's still question marks about them. So now we got an answer on Chris Bell. I know a lot of folks have been seeing Chris Bell out there that have been at the practices, the training camp. They've been seeing Chris Bell out there doing routes and running routes and making cuts and moves and stopping and going and all that kind of stuff. And that's positive. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. But when Alan Poupart ran into Bobby Slowick and he asked him, he said, how far along is Chris Bell? Is he near, practice, being able to practice or whatnot? And he said, no, he's a long ways off. Okay. So there's your answer. That's going to put that fire out. I know it's been hot topic. Oh, Chris Bell, he's going to be back. He's going to be here soon. He's going to be practicing and all this kind of stuff. So Bobby Slowick put that to rest. Now, it's a good thing that he looks like he's ahead of schedule, but who knows when he's going to come back. I'm predicting maybe after the bye week, maybe even before the bye week, maybe at 6 weeks. I don't know. Okay, that's a question that no one knows, has the answer to. So we'll see. All we know is that he's not ready at this point in his rehabilitation. Other injury updates. Austin Jackson, he's out with undisclosed injury. He's day-to-day, according to Jeff Hafley. He is day-to-day. Not good. This is not good. AJ seems to be always hurt, right? He's been hurt his whole career with the Miami Dolphins, and he's hurt again. This is not good for the right tackle position because Charlie Heck, his backup, has been struggling big time against the rookies, against the veterans. He's just not the guy, okay? He's not the guy to fill in his shoes if he was to go down. Maybe he's in the third or fourth position, but he's not the guy to step up for AJ if he goes down. I don't see that. So there's a hole there at the in questions at the right tackle position. Very concerning. Ben Sims, tight end. He also is hurt. Got hurt in practice. Another injury. He was grabbing his leg, or they were working on his leg. The trainers don't know what the injury is. Hasn't been talked about unless it was earlier today and I missed it. But he's injured. And then you've got Dulcich, the other tight end. He hasn't been seen at practice. He is also day-to-day, according to the Hafley. He's day-to-day. And he sees him maybe ready for maybe in the next week or so, but he's day to day. And when I say next week, that's when I think next Wednesday they do a joint practice with the Washington Commanders. So that's when we're going to see how all these practices have been paying off with the pads on and all that good stuff. So we'll see how that comes together for the Miami Dolphins when they have those practices, joint practices. But the bad thing about it is I think TD Finstock is going to make that practice. Yes, he is. He said he got some connections through some of his partners in Round Table Sports, where he's going to be able to make those practices because it's closed. It's not open to the public as far as just anybody. It's only for season ticket holders are the only ones allowed to make that joint practice. So, but TD Finstock, he'll be representing, and I'm sure some of the other media members as well. Also, Sawyer is still out. I haven't seen him participating in practice. Dante Trader has been hurt. He hasn't participated in the last couple of days. Lonnie Johnson was hurt. I do not know what his injury is, but Lonnie Johnson, the safety, is also hurt. Um, Also, Renee Conga, who was undrafted free agent defensive tackle, promising defensive tackle. Um, he's out for the year. So his hopes of making the 53 this year is out the window. He'll be redshirted this year. They'll probably keep him on the practice squad or whatnot, injured reserve. And maybe next year he'll give it another go. Let's see. Any other injuries that I want to update you on? No. Okay. The Dolphins have acquired off a waiver wire Fontorma Muba. I know I didn't get that name right, but anyway, he is a defensive tackle. He was with the New York Jets practice squad last year. He's 6'4", 306 pounds. Probably just a camp body at this point. Also, they have claimed a tight end off the waiver wire from the New England Patriots, Jeremiah Franklin, another tight end. Now he played at Boston College, so maybe he's got some connections with Jeff Hafley. I don't know, I'm just speculating. But what concerns me, he's only 225 pounds. And the reports that I got on him is he's not very athletic. He just kind of I'm just going to call him a camp body right now because I don't think he's going to make the team. They're just filling in some spots, until these other guys come back. The other tight ends that have been injured come back. That's my opinion. I don't know. But now let's start with the practices and things of that nature. Again, I'm not there. This is the information I'm getting from a lot of these media members, the Alan Poupards and the Omar Kellys and TD Finstock has been making the practices as well. Although TD Finstock is more on the which is good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying he's more on the uppity kind of positive side, I would say. He's more positive than, let's say, I am, and in the sense of how many games we're going to win and how good this team's going to be and all the players and things like that, which is good. That's great. I'm positive in the sense of I like the direction this team is going. I like what they've done in the coaching with the coaching staff, with the hiring of the GM. I like the way the practices are going, what they're doing, and things like that. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, we also have to remember, we are Dolphin fans. So we are focusing on the team, right? Only on the Dolphins. Generally speaking, we're only focusing on our team, okay? Other teams are doing the same thing, guys. Other teams are getting better too. Other teams, they have more talent on the roster. Okay? So let's not get all, blow all these, practices out of proportion and all this kind of stuff. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be happy and positive. I'm feeling the best I've felt about this team in a long time. But my expectations are not playoff or Super Bowl or any of that kind of stuff. Okay? I'm a little more realistic. Do I think they're going to play better and be better than folks expect? Yes, I do. Whether that's 4 games, 7, 8, 9 games, I don't know. Okay? We don't know until they get on the field, right? Once they play those first few games, we'll get a better perspective, a better feel of where they're going. I just want them to properly evaluate this team, no matter how many wins they have or losses. Just properly evaluate this team and know what they have. That's what I expect. I expect the Dolphins to go in this year to know if they have a franchise quarterback in Malik Willis, to know that they have, Jonas Avenaya has taken a step, up, that Caden Proctor's the guy, even though, I don't expect him to be an all pro, but if he's average or better than average, then they know they got the right guy, especially in his first year. That's what I want to see. Okay. That's what I want to evaluate. And that's what I expect. I don't expect every draft pick, all 13 draft picks, to be starters and to be great, impactful players. I don't see that, and I don't expect that. And we shouldn't either, to be honest with you. But anyway, the way the practices have been going, I like that the way that that Hafley handles the practices. I like the way that when he gets up there, and talks with the media, that he's truthful, he's honest, he's straightforward, he's very transparent. He tells it like it is, and he's not blowing anything out of proportion either in these practices. Okay. And I think they're being realistic. I know they want to win, but at the same time, they know what kind of a roster they have. Okay. And I know a lot of folks are getting hyped up in all these practices, and this guy's making this play, and this guy is going to be the starter. And oh man, we got a good one in this guy, and all this kind of stuff. We don't know that. Number one, we got 13 rookies that are out there at training camp practicing against each other. Haven't played it down in the regular football season. Okay? Hasn't played one down in a regular football game. And then we got other players that come in from other teams that were third and fourth string players, or second and third string players. Maybe some of them fourth string. And they're playing against each other. They're practicing against each other every day, the same faces. Okay? We're not going to really know much until the joint practice. That's going to give us a little bit of an indication of what these guys are made up of. Okay? And so I'm not going to get too hyped up about the practice, although I love to see it. I love to see it. I can tell you one thing. Caden Proctor's the real deal as far as his physicality and his athletic, being an athlete, his athleticism and everything is great. I mean, he's very mobile for a big man. He moves and he doesn't get moved back a lot. You're not going to bull rush him. Okay. You might get around him, but you're not going to bull rush him. You're going to push through. You're going to have to, go around him. Okay. So I think he's going to be a staple in our team. I think he is. Okay. I don't know though, until we see the first year, how he does. Okay. Jonas Avenaya, there's been some good things to say about him. It looks like he feels comfortable, which is good, in the position that he's in now at that right guard spot. That's his position. He feels comfortable. He's one-on-one. He's physical. He's a big dude. He's making some blocks and he's losing some blocks. Where he struggles is when he, they're doing these blocks where he's got to take he's got to take a man and another guy's got to take a man. And then sometimes he gets mixed up and he loses his guy, I think a lot of it still has to do with his footwork. I really do. But he's been doing okay. I mean, he's been, I would say, from what the information I'm getting from a lot of these folks that are down there in practices, that he's better than last year in the practices. Okay. He's a year older, he's a year experienced. So, he's probably worked on the technique and skills over the off season. I'm sure he has. I'm sure he's watched film with the coaches and they've gone over some stuff to work on. So development is what these coaches are into. And I love that. Developing the young players. And if he can be And I've talked about this with Curtis of Ace per head many times. If he can just be average, if he can just be average, that would make a big difference in this offensive line this year. The right side, I'm a little concerned with, especially with AJ being hurt again. I know it's not a serious injury. They said day to day, but I don't know, man. They just need to prepare for him not playing a full season. And I don't know if Charlie Heck's the guy. Maybe when Sayre comes back, but then again, he's hurt. We don't know how serious he's hurt. If Sawyer comes back, maybe he can fill in. I don't know. I don't know because we haven't seen him practice yet. I don't think he's practiced very much. I think he's missed a couple, 2 or 3 practices since the pads come on. So really don't know much if he's going to be. DJ Campbell, another rookie. He's making rookie mistakes. He has a long way to go as far as being a backup or starter in his development. He's still a rookie. Okay. Sure, he probably has the potential, I think, but how long is it going to take for them to develop that, to bring the best out of him, So we'll see when it comes to the offensive line there. Brewer, I have no problems with. That left side, Patrick Paul. Patrick Paul is above average tackle. We've seen how he is. He's above average tackle. Do we get more out of him this year? I don't know. I mean, in practices, he's gotten beat sometimes. He's won some blocks and he's gotten beat. He got bull rushed by Chop Robinson, I believe it was. Or no, it was Ulsage or Robinson bull rushed him, and got around him and almost made a quarterback sack. Of course, you're not going to see him get sacked in practices, but it would have been a sack if it was a real game. But I'm not concerned on that left side. I mean, if he's an average, above average, fine. That's great. Proctor right now, I don't know, if he's going to be average, above average, or mediocre. I don't know till we see them play, right? First games, regular season games. But I'm very concerned about that right side. I'm concerned. I'm still concerned with Savania, and I'm still with the guard, Savania, and I'm still concerned with AJ's injury history. So, tight ends. We got tight ends that are injured. Dulcich is a good receiving tight end. Is he? He'd probably be a second string, a third string tight end on another team. Realistically, I'm being real with y'all. He would probably be a second or third string tight end on another team. Okay, and he's going to be our starter. Ben Sims, another guy, second, third string player. I would say even third string player. What's his name? Kazmarek, yeah, the tight end Kazmarek that we drafted. I think he's going to be a solid blocking tight end for us. Okay, he can go out and catch some passes too. He's underrated when it comes to that. They didn't utilize him a lot in Ohio State, as far as in the passing game. He was the best run blocking tight end in college. So he's made some good blocks, but then he's also made some rookie errors, some mistakes, typical, right? So he's still developing. But I think he's going to end up being a solid tight end for us. I think he'll be a number 2 tight end for us. Let's see, what else? Running backs, we know what we have in Devon Achane, right? We know what we have. Not much to say about him. We know he's really good running back. We've seen what he's done, and I think they're going to utilize him even more in the passing game this year. I know in practices he's been lining outside, as a slot receiver. So that's pretty scary for defenses. I mean, they're going to have to plan for that and Malik Willis running, right? Throwing off script and stuff like that, because that's where he's best at. Malik Willis is best at off script, throwing off script. And he doesn't have to have this great accuracy or anything like that. He just has to not make a lot of mistakes, right? He just has to be average. If he just is average and just, you know, make some good off script plays, that's enough to scare, defensive coordinators, because he's good at throwing on the run and going off script, you know. So we'll see. Ollie Gordon, I think he's going to be it's between Ollie Gordon and Jalen Wright. I think it's going to be running back by committee this year. I think we're going to be a run dominant team, in my opinion. I think we're going to see a lot of Ollie Gordon and Jalen Wright. And I think we're going to see Achane in the running game and receiving. So he's going to be a dual threat for our offense. Wide receivers. Here's another area where I know a lot of folks have concerns. I do have some concerns and questions. Malik Washington, he'd probably be a good, he's the best receiver in camp right now. Although Caleb Douglas is right behind him. Oh, that's another one. Kevin Coleman was hurt. I don't think he participated in practice. It wasn't today because they didn't have. I don't think they practiced today. But anyway, he didn't participate in practice one of the days. So I don't know if he's injured or if it was personal. I don't know, but he wasn't at practice participating. But Caleb Douglas, again, a rookie. He's going to probably be a starter along with Malik Washington. And as I said, Malik Washington right now is our best receiver on the team. And I think the receiving crew and tight end crew are going to be a receiving crew by committee. That's what I think. I think the tight ends are going to get a lot of balls thrown to them. Dulcich, Sims, if they're depending on how serious their injury is, and Kazmarek, I think they're going to get a lot of balls thrown their way. Mostly Dulcich. That's what I see. And I also see the receivers. This is what I see as far as the receiving goes. Malik Washington, Caleb Douglas, Kevin Coleman, Jalen Tolbert. Those are the guys in the receiving core that I think are going to get the most balls this year. I think it's going to be a receiving core by committee. I really do. With Malik Willis probably leading the way as far as targets and stuff like that. I think that's what we're going to see. That's what I'm projecting. I have no clue. I don't have a crystal ball, but that's just my opinion. How I see it. Okay, I could be right, could be wrong. Let's go. Let's shift over to the defensive side of the ball. Let's start with the defensive line. The defensive line. You've got. I got it down here in my notes. What I wanted to mention. I have to make this announcement about Chop Robinson. Chop Robinson has had probably his best training camp this year. Now, I don't know if that's going to how that's going to translate on the field when they're playing real football. But I know in training camp he has made some plays. He's been a force to be reckoned with. That's good. We need to see that in a third-year player. Okay. Zach Sealer. We know Zach Sealer. We know what he can do. Kenneth Grant has been mediocre. I mean, the reports I'm getting is a lot of folks, they're saying they haven't really seen any big improvement. He hasn't been really making a lot of noise out there. Okay. Jordan Phillips, I think he's been having a good camp. He's been solid. Zeke Biggers has been playing a little bit of outside, right? Defensive end, edge, whatever you want to call it, defensive end, and defensive tackle. They've been moving in the inside and the outside on the end. So we're probably going to see a little bit of that this upcoming year with him. He is slimmed down. Last year, remember, he came in a little late, and he did pretty well. I mean, he did well for coming in as a rookie, late in the season. He held his own. What's his name? I can't pronounce his name. Is it Sealand Farrell? Anyway, he was a first round pick at one time. He's made a few plays here and there. Ucic has made he's been making some noise in training camp as well. Another guy that was been a third string rotational type player is probably going to be the starter next year along with Chop Robinson. So again, these guys are playing against each other in camp. They're playing, you got rookies playing against second and third string veterans other than Brewer and Achan, Austin Jackson, and Patrick Paul. I mean, all the free agents we brought in were basically second and third string players. So these aren't, top tier players that they're playing against. Again, they're veterans, but they're not the top tier players. Okay. So also, let's go to the linebackers. TD Finstock. TD mentioned today was it was either today. Yeah, I think it was today was the first day or yesterday where he saw Jacob Rodriguez and Jordan Brooks playing together on the first string. Whereas before they had Jacob Rodriguez coming in on second string reps. So I don't know. Is he moving up the depth chart? Is that a good sign that he may be moving up the depth chart? I don't know. I know he's made some really good plays out there, punching the ball out. But, he's been active, on the as far as linebacker is concerned, he's been all over the place, very active around the ball. Jordan Brooks is another one I forgot to mention. It's all pro caliber type player. And Zach Sealer. So that's good. If Jacob Rodriguez is moving up the depth chart, that's good. That's a good sign for him in his development. Terrell Dobson's just been having your average training camp as a veteran. I mean, these veterans know what they're doing. I mean, they're not out there. I don't know. I can't talk for them, but they know how to pace themselves. They know what they're capable of. They've been in the league a while, so they know exactly what they're doing. They know how to make training camp worth their while as far as developing and getting the rust off and all that kind of stuff and preparing themselves for the regular season. Let's see. Willie Gay, he's been making some plays here and there, typical training camp for Willie Gay. Trey Moore, we drafted Trey Moore. He's been making some plays here and there. Still rookie though. Kyle Lewis, again, rookie. Hasn't been a lot of talk about him. I mean, he's made some plays here and there. Ethan Robinson, cornerback, has been making plays. Ethan Bonner's been making some plays. I think Ethan Bonner's going to make this team again. I think he's going to be a rotational cornerback, maybe third string cornerback. Chris Johnson, the rookie, still kind of raw. They're still kind of developing his skills and things like that. They're working with him. Um, Although he's shined in camp at times, and then he's made again, like, and all these rookies are going to make mistakes their first year, right? But he's shined a little bit. That's promising to hear. I think he'll probably start for sure. Marshall has made an impact in the cornerback. He's made an impact in he was a rookie last year. He's made some a couple good plays, made an impact, an impression in training camp. Zane Anderson, veteran special teams, type player. He's made some plays in camp as well. Michael Taff, we drafted him. He's has a good nose for the ball. He's made some plays. Is he going to start? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But guys, that's really all I had for you tonight. I just wanted to go over the injury updates, what I've heard as far as practices go, that news with Garfinkel and everything, and Silman moving up, kind of taking over the reins for Stephen Ross. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. We have more of an idea of where the buck stops, is what I'm saying, right? And Stillman is not going to be the type. I don't think he's going to be the type like Stephen Ross was. He's going to kind of he's going to be a silent owner. He's going to stay away from stuff unless, things start breaking down and they got to make some big decisions and things like that. Yeah, I think he'll get involved. But other than that, as far as everyday, day-to-day football operations, I don't see him getting involved, as far, meddling around with these guys. I think he's going to let Sullivan say, hey, buddy, this is your game. This is your ball game. You run with it, and same with Hafley. I think they're going to let these guys do what they do best, right? Hafley, the coach, and Sullivan, the GM. Let him GM and let Hafley coach. Let him do his thing. I think we're on the right track here as far as the organization goes in that respect. But yeah, that's all I had, man. And I think next week I'll do the same thing. I'll report on Wednesday. I know Wednesday they're having a joint practice, so that should be interesting. I'd like to see how that goes, and I should have some good information for you all then as well. So I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that bell down there, and then share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. I'm going to say goodnight to you all. Thanks again. Remember, Dolphins #1, baby. Dolphins #1.